Hello everyone. I never thought I would have to make a video like this before, but the individual I will be talking about in this video has left me no choice. Before I get started on the video, I want to explain a couple things first. This individual, who I will be talking about, has autism and is 20 years old. I want to explain the difference between high and low functions of autism. Now, low functioning autism is where a person has the mind of a 3 to 5-year-old, or somewhere on the lines of 3 to 10 years old, but not that much. They cannot pay bills, they cannot drive a car, they can't even cook their own food. They will need somebody to take care of them for the rest of their lives. It's not that they don't want to learn it, it's just that their mind is not physically able to understand it. Now, high functioning autism is where they are somewhat normal people like you and me. They can still have some trouble understanding some things or, have some trouble learning some things. But most people with high functioning autism can drive a car, can pay bills, they can cook their own food, and even have a normal conversation with people that you wouldn't think has autism. Now, again, they can still struggle with some of these things, and some of them with high functioning may not even be able to do some of these things, like pay bills, drive a car, or cook their own food. But from my experience, most people with high functioning autism can do most of this stuff. With this all in mind, I want to state that while I don't know what type of autism this man has personally, judging by the things this individual has said and done, I think he has somewhere in high functioning autism, and it has somewhere around the mind of a 14 to 18-year-old. So for some of you who may not know the whole situation about the Gavin / Super Mario Legend drama, the problem we had with this individual was all because of Gavin, Super Mario Legend, grooming a 15-year-old, among other things. But mainly, the grooming. It all tied into Gavin, and Gavin even supported and encouraged this individual's behavior, even though he knew it was wrong. And they both knew it was. Now, Wario, as some of you know him, his name is also Colin, but in this video, I'm just going to refer to him as Wario. Now, the screenshots I'm going to show you is going to say Colin. This is the person known as Have a Rotten Day on TikTok that goes by Wario. His real name is Colin. Now, Wario already went through some of the things that this individual did on his second video about Gavin, but I am going to go into a whole lot more detail about this person, who I am going to call Gavin's guardian angel in this video. Now, in Wario's video, he referred it to this individual as Gavin Jr. But as you're going to see in this video, I thought it was more fitting to call this individual Gavin's guardian angel. So with all this in mind, let's go ahead and get into this. So Wario had told me he had got a message from a man that goes by Fortnite Charizard on Discord. This man has sent him a very threatening message wanting to cause physical violence to Wario, and called him a bunch of very heavy profanities. Get used to this, folks, because this is going to be a reoccurring thing in these messages. He sent this to him not too long after Wario called out Gavin the first time in his first video. Wario just kind of ignored this and brushed this off. Now, Wario told me that he thought this man has some sort of disability, which he thought was autism. So I messaged this individual on TikTok because I didn't have his Discord. Now, Wario shortly gave me his Discord username after I asked for it, just in case he didn't respond to me on TikTok. I just kind of figured he wasn't going to see the message. That's why I asked for it. Now, Wario also told me he thought his name was Buddy because Fortnite Charizard had also sent his Facebook info for some odd reason to Wario. Wario didn't even ask for it either, so it was very weird. So I messaged him on TikTok, and he did respond. He wanted to talk about Wario. And he pretty much just stated that we need to stop hurting Gavin because what he did was a long time ago and that we hate him. Saying that we are good people and we shouldn't want him to suffer or be unalived. Now, get used to the unalive thing, folks, because this is also going to be a reoccurring thing as well. And this whole thing started like 8 months ago. This was not a very long time ago. And we don't even hate Gavin. We sure as hell don't like him. But we don't hate him. Also, we are not trying to make Gavin suffer, but we are trying to make him and others aware of his action and what he did to this 15-year-old. We also don't want Gavin to unalive himself either, but this is like the second time he's lied about unaliving himself and faking about it by being a different person and saying that Gavin unalived himself by jumping into a river. Yeah, he faked his own death by being someone else and saying that Gavin unalived himself. Yeah. So, to be honest, I ignored that comment, and the other times Buddy said that to me throughout this whole interaction because Gavin is lying to him, trying to make him think that he is going to unalive himself, which I know he won't. Now, this whole Gavin situation first happened, it was in another person's Discord server, and I had made a comment in it stating, I am glad I never became close friends with Gavin. I always felt kinda off about that guy. Gavin then immediately blocked me on Discord, TikTok, Instagram, basically every social media thing that we both had. This is going to come into play later. Buddy then goes on to say he was trying to protect Gavin and that he was sorry for threatening Wario, but that Wario is ruining Gavin's life. Well, he said sorry for threatening someone, folks. That's a good, right? Wrong. Because Buddy will end up doing a complete 180 here soon and threatening both me and Wario again, and many times after this. Buddy then says that Gavin is not a groomer, and that he wants to unalive himself because Wario is ruining his life. Oh boy, another unaliving comment? You can really tell Gavin heavily told Buddy this to make him believe that he was going to do it. Now again, me nor Wario wants Gavin to unalive himself, but we know he is doing this to make people feel sympathetic for him and try to get what little fans he has left on his side. I tried to tell this to Buddy and tried to tell him that Wario even made a video explaining what he did to the 15-year-old, and Buddy just wanted to be ignorant and ignore the fact that the video that was made about Gavin and just wanted to ignore it. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, it's his choice if he doesn't want to. He then goes on to say, once again, that Gavin wants to unalive himself and that he wants to leave Gavin alone and live his life. Saying that he thought we were cool people and now we are losers. Oh no. Someone thinks we're losers. It hurts our pride and self-esteem so much. Whatever will we do? Anyways, he said people have done bad things, and how is that any different than what other people have done? Well, I don't know about you, but for starters, Gavin was talking to a 15-year-old and being friends with this 15-year-old. And Gavin is almost 30, by the way. That's pretty bad. But he also says he tried to unalive himself and that he wished he was dead and not born. Buddy was saying this about himself, not Gavin, by the way. That's a bit disturbing, but I mean, this part I do kind of feel bad for him because I have an older brother with autism, which is, by the way, way worse than Buddy's. But my brother had a lot of kind and loving people that helped him through a lot throughout his life, both in and outside of school. So when he said this, it made me think that he didn't get the proper help he needed growing up, and I feel bad for him. But the other things he did throughout this video that I'm going to explain, yeah, no, I don't feel bad for you. But he goes on to say to look at our planet and explains the shooting, the bombings, and the bullying going on in this world. I don't know why, but all right. Also, he went on to say that he knows the reason why Wario drinks, which is because he doesn't want to feel pain, and that's why everyone drinks. I thought this comment was a bit hilarious, to be completely honest with you, because one, I know Wario. He only drinks because it's fun and he likes to be extra goofy. And two, this is literally not the reason why everyone drinks. Not everyone drinks because they don't want to feel sad or pain. A lot of people drink because it's fun. Heck, I drink on occasions because it's fun and I want to be goofy. That doesn't mean people all over the world drink because they don't want to feel pain and suffering. Now, I'm not saying people don't do that. I know there are people that do that. But not everyone in the world drinks because they don't want to feel pain. Drinking, believe it or not, is fun if you do it responsibly. Now, Buddy then says, we don't want to see a 20-year-old die. And he has seen a lot of stuff. I bet you have, man. But again, we don't want anyone unalived. Tells me that he wants Wario to squash this crap with Gavin and leave it in the past because we are stressing Gavin out and Gavin is upset. Well, whose fault is that? He caused that himself because of what he did. So how is that our fault? And by the way, we're literally not doing anything to Gavin, by the way. Like, at all. And I'll probably say that again a couple times throughout the video. But he says that he will always take Gavin's side. And that me and Wario used to be friends with Gavin. And that was all ruined because of a 15-year-old. And he thinks that somewhere in our hearts, we miss being friends with Gavin. Now, I want to state that previously, I had already said that I was hardly friends with Gavin. So that kind of thing he said was kind of a big stretch for me, at least. I didn't really know the dude all that well. I very rarely, on occasions, played Mario Kart and Mario Party with him, Wario, and a couple other people. But other than that, no, I hardly knew the dude. So, us being friends, it's kind of stretched right there, man. I don't know what to tell you. But he also says that we are all adults here. Please do the right thing and take my advice. Yeah, me and Wario are adults here, but after the actions you did, I can't really say you're the one acting like an adult throughout our interaction, which you'll soon to find out as well. So he basically goes on saying Gavin is not a bad person and that all of this was ruined because of a 15-year-old and that Wario is taking this too far and that he is going to get a lot of people hurt now that Buddy is getting involved. Who else is going to get involved here, buddy? What do you know that we don't? He also says that he is loyal and smart to his friends and that if Wario wants beef, he can give it to him and leave Gavin alone. Alright. He also got really mad because Wario called him a kid whenever they had their personal interaction on Discord. And I guess that really got underneath his skin because he wasn't very happy about that. He then talks about how I would feel if Wario was depressed 24/7 and that I would know and try to help him. Yeah, I would, except he's not. In fact, he's hardly ever is because he is happy with his life and he is happy where he's at right now. So, if he was depressed, I bet you I would be the first person, or actually, let me take that back. I'd be the second person to know. Because the first person would probably be his fiance, and then me. But seeing how I have known him for 10 years, yeah, I can tell you he is completely content. He is completely happy where he is in life, with his job, with his car, with his fiance, with the place he's staying at. He's not depressed. Again, another Gavin wants to unalive himself comment, and Wario is hurting him. I said to him, well, if Gavin is well enough to make content and smile on a camera, he can either get off the internet or deal with the fact that his mistakes are going to haunt him until he does. Because at this time, Gavin had made a bunch of different alternate accounts to try to make videos and build up his fan base again. He seemed very happy and smiled trying to make videos, so clearly he wasn't stressed, depressed, or having any unalive thoughts when he was trying to make videos, right? So, I don't know, I don't see the connection here. Buddy says that we shouldn't be like people and that we were terrible people and losers because we want to ruin Gavin's life. That we are picking on someone and to be an ass to them. Now, let's clear the air for a minute. Neither me nor Wario have tried to go out of our way to ruin Gavin's life, nor try to contact him in any form of way after this whole controversy and Wario made the first video. All Wario has done is spread the word around that SuperMarioLegend's / Gavin is a groomer and had video evidence that he was in contact with a 15-year-old kid. That it was not safe for people to be associated with him or minors to follow or contact him, period. Now, all I have done is just tried to talk to Buddy, telling him that threatening people can be a serious crime. Then all this mess started. That was literally the entire reason why I sent Buddy the message on TikTok to begin with, is because after Wario told me he had autism, I wanted to try to make aware that threatening people online can be a serious crime depending on who would take the case. Now, just going to leave it at that for now because we'll end up getting into it a little bit later in this video. But all Wario has ever said is that Gavin just needs to get off the internet. That's it. That's all he's ever said. Nothing threatening. Nothing about him trying to harm himself or to unalive himself. Nothing. Just Gavin, get off the internet. That's it. Now, this part is really funny. I'm not going to lie. Buddy then threatens me and Wario again, saying that if we don't leave Gavin alone, he knows Hugh Jackman, and that he will get Hugh Jackman to hurt us, and that he, quote, shouldn't fuck with him. Yeah, this is what he sent us. So this Hugh Jackman he is talking about is actually a fan page of Hugh Jackman where the person that owns the account posts videos of Hugh. I can't make this up. This is a fan page account. And this fan page even messaged Wario and me about it. Now, thankfully, the person was very understanding and wanted both sides of the story. We told him our side of the story, and he thanked us for his time and left us and never bothered us again. I just didn't know what to say to Buddy after all those messages about Hugh Jackman, which, by the way, I was at work. All of this happened while I was at work, too, by the way. It all happened last week. I just told Buddy that he is acting like a kid and that I have nothing to do with Gavin and that he blocked me on everything. I can't see what Gavin is doing because of that, and that I don't even want to contact Gavin. I told him that all I know is the proof that Wario had on Gavin through the first video Wario made about Gavin that he should actually go watch. I also told him that all of these threats can be a serious crime and lead to serious jail time. It's then Buddy tells me that he has special needs and that he's indeed 20 years old. Now, I already knew he had autism because of Wario. This just ended up 100% confirming it. I told him that special needs or not, it does not give him the right to threaten people's lives. And for some odd reason, he then tells me that his dad is a sex offender. He says sexy offender, but we all know he meant sex offender, and he is not. And that if we put him in jail, he would release his dad? Don't know why he told me that, but that's also not how that works. Now, it's around here we can all see his autism a lot more clearly because he starts to have what I think is a meltdown. And again, I understand this man has autism, but the things he has said and done so far is no excuse to threaten people. He knows the difference between right and wrong. If my older brother who has autism, who has it much worse than him, can understand right from wrong, which he can, then so can Buddy. It's not that hard. Buddy goes on telling me his Discord and not wanting to fight him because he is a terrifying and beast of a person that in his life is messed up. I'm not going to fight anyone, especially if they have special needs, because that is just messed up and wrong. Why would you ever want to fight someone with a disability or special needs? I don't understand. I then tell Buddy that I can't deal with him because of the things he said, and basically he just wants to bother Wario still, and he can, but it won't change the fact that what Gavin did was wrong. Mostly because Wario can handle the problem with Buddy himself, and that I just messaged him to tell him that threatening people is wrong and can be a crime. Also to tell him that if he wants to believe Gavin is not a groomer, even though Wario has proven facts on the first video he made on him, then that is on him. Not me, not Wario, that is on Buddy. Buddy then says he wants to call me on Discord and to talk this over and wants me to hear him out. Yeah, no, not happening. I then send him one last message saying I'm not hearing him out because he wants to threaten people when it comes to Gavin. And God knows who else when it comes to Gavin. And not wanting to hear what he has to say because he doesn't want to acknowledge the facts that was given in Wario's first video about Gavin. I told him have a good day, and then he blocked me. Now, you would think since he blocked me on TikTok that this would be all over, right? Yeah, no. No, I wish it was, but it got worse. So much worse. So, a concerned fan that likes me and Wario's content reached out to us not too long after Buddy blocked me, and he had sent us a screenshot of a conversation he had with Buddy. Now, this concerned fan wishes to stay anonymous, so I will reference them as a concerned fan or just fan for the rest of the video. This screenshot from Buddy said that me and Wario wants to put him and Extreme Mario, this was one of Gavin's alternate accounts that he had made, in jail. And if they ever see us in person, to call the police on us immediately. When I saw this, I was just in shock. That one, Buddy thinks that we want him and Gavin to go to jail. And two, that he's telling some random stranger to call the police on us if they ever see us. I never once said I wanted Gavin or Buddy to go to jail. I just told him twice that threatening people can be a crime. Now, if he wants some random person to call the police on us, a random person to call the police on us, I was like, this dude needs some help. He needs some serious help because he is clearly not getting the help he needs for his disability. Now, Wario takes this picture and he posts it on his Threads account, showing people that this is the things that we were dealing with because of Gavin. Now, keep in mind that I am sure Buddy is in contact with Gavin throughout this whole thing, and the things that Buddy keeps saying or doing, Gavin never told him to stop or leave us alone. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but to me, Gavin was encouraging him to talk and act this way to us, which is just terrible, sad, and honestly pathetic. They both know what they're doing is wrong, and it's just sad that they're choosing to not just realize what they're doing is wrong. Now, the next morning, because that message Buddy sent to this concerned fan was late at night, Buddy sent the fan a message again saying that he knew the fan was a spy and called him a very, very bad profanity word. Then tells him to have Wario personally call him on Discord and that he knows the fan is sending screenshots of the message they are having to Wario and me. The fan didn't really know the full situation with the whole Gavin thing, but they did indeed send us the screenshot of Buddy telling him to call the police on us because they were concerned about our safety and that he only recently found Gavin under the name Extreme_Mario after they made their first TikTok account. Now, you're probably wondering, how did they find us? Well, after they created their TikTok account, they found Extreme_Mario. Were looking for other accounts to follow because they were a big Nintendo fan and they saw a bunch of people cosplaying as, guess what? Nintendo characters. They had happened to found me and Wario, and they followed us, among many other people that also did other cosplaying videos about Nintendo. So They messaged us saying that they were very concerned about our safety because of some stranger told them to call the police on us if they ever see us, and that we wanted to put him and Gavin in jail. So we told this concerned fan, do you have a Discord? They said yes. We asked for his Discord, we got in contact with him, and we asked to see the screenshot. So we weren't very happy about that, and that's why Wario posted that video on his Threads account. Buddy then tells the fan that Wario is Hitler, and he knows he's friends with him, and that he is calm until someone messes with one of his friends. This fan literally just made a TikTok account and just recently started following extreme_Mario/Gavin because he was cosplaying Mario. He also followed me, Wario, and many other cosplayers. I already said that. They don't know any of the situation that has happened nor going on with the whole Gavin thing. So he was just kind of lost about the whole thing. We didn't really explain it to him because we didn't think he needed to be involved. We just thanked him for the screenshot and let it be. Little did we know, Buddy and this concerned fan ended up having a very long message. Now, Buddy didn't believe them and told them that Wario wants Gavin unalived, and that screenshot is now public. So the fan tells Buddy that some random stranger tells them to call the police on another random person because they are bad people and they shouldn't be concerned for them, and that now they are concerned for their own safety. Which, in my opinion, I agree with the fan. If I was in their shoes, I'd be concerned for the others' safety and now my own after that. Buddy then says to them that Wario cannot be trusted and that he is now on Wario's hit list? What even? There's no hit list, everyone. All three of us did not know what Buddy was talking about. There has never been a hit list. I don't know why Buddy has tried to paint me and Wario as people who has wanted Gavin to be unalived or harm himself, because we have never wanted that, and we have never said that. The only thing we have ever said was for Gavin to leave the internet. That's it. So unless Gavin is lying to Buddy, telling him that he wants to unalive himself, we don't really know where all this is coming from. But that's the only thing we can think of. But we have never said any of that. So it was at this point the fan was very lost, confused, and now really worried at this point, and even apologized to Buddy, saying that it wasn't his place to share the screenshot with us, but he was really concerned for our safety. At this point, Buddy told the fan Gavin was gone, and that he was no longer his friend, and that anymore, and Gavin might unalive himself because Wario posted that screenshot on Thread. The fan was so lost and beyond scared and concerned about Gavin. I felt really bad for them, to be completely honest with you, because Buddy roped him into this mess, which shouldn't have ever happened. It wasn't their business. Buddy then tells the fan Wario ruined his life and is stalking Gavin 24/7. The fan then says all he did was just send that screenshot to us and didn't even know what in the world was going on. Buddy then goes on to tell the fan that they messed up big time and that Wario is not a nice person who likes to prey off of people like him and wants Buddy to go to jail. Neither me nor Wario has ever said that. Ever. Just that the threats he was making to us is a crime and could lead to jail time, but we have never said we wanted him to go to jail. We don't even want him to go to jail. So the fan apologizes and was worried about Gavin's life. They also said that they didn't want any of this to happen and that they didn't want to get roped into this. He also asked if Gavin was alive. See the effect Gavin telling people he's going to unalive himself is doing? This is highly pathetic. Now, it is at this point right here, we don't know how, but it is this point right here, Buddy somehow got Wario's personal information and doxed him on TikTok. He made 4 videos. All were swipe pictures of Wario, and the last picture was of Wario's full legal name, his personal active phone number, and his address. The fan immediately told me about this, and I wanted to see if what he had in the videos was all correct. All of it was, except the address. When I saw this, I was livid and shocked. I cannot believe this guy somehow got Wario's personal information and posted it all over the internet. When I found this out, I quickly texted Wario on Discord and showed it to him. Wario was even more livid. But he was more livid about the address. Because here's the thing. Wario did once live there. But he hasn't lived there in a long time. He knew the people that lived there. He still knows the people that live there. And he was not happy. Because Buddy had us blocked on TikTok, we could not see the videos. We couldn't even report the videos. So we told the fan to report all 4 of those videos on TikTok to try to get them taken down by TikTok. They did so. And it took about an hour for all 4 of those videos to be taken down. Among that time, the fan had told us all 4 of the videos had a combined total of a little over 1,000 views. 1,000 views, people. That means all those people possibly saw all of Wario's personal information. Now, I don't know about all of you, but having 1,000 people possibly know where I live, possibly know my phone number, and possibly know my full legal name, I'd be very mad and a bit worried. And here's why. Because if anyone knows anything about the effects of doxing, it can be really bad. There have been people that would call the police near the address and claim a bomb threat, an attempted unaliving happening there. And the list goes on. Next thing you know, you're just sitting in your house, doing your natural thing. And the SWAT team is busting in your house, destroying your stuff and trying to arrest you. Doxing people is bad. Do not ever do it. It is not funny. It is not cool. Don't ever do it. And the fact that this man knew the risk of it and still posted Wario's personal information online is just despicable and horrendous. And the potential that he put those people living at that address at risk is sickening. Those people have absolutely nothing to do with this entire situation. They're nice people, by the way. I know who they are. And they are super nice people. They have nothing to do with any of this. And the fact that Buddy did this, he knowingly did this. He knew the risk about doxing people. The fact that he did this is just sickening. Thankfully, Wario was able to call our local county police department and tell them the whole situation and to prevent anything like this from happening. Now, I know Buddy has autism, but again, he knows right from wrong, and he knows what he did was absolutely wrong of him, and he did it anyways. His disability cannot excuse his actions at all. Absolutely not. I understand he has autism, but he cannot use his autism as an excuse for saying, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought this was okay. He knows doxing people is bad. 100% he does. Now, the fan tried to tell Buddy that posting someone's personal information online is wrong. He knows that. Buddy then goes on to tell the fan that the fan got sucked into a dangerous game and that he was going to try to protect Gavin. Let me be clear on this. This fan wanted nothing to do with this situation and Buddy dragged him into it. This fan tried to get Buddy to calm down because what he did could get him in a lot of trouble. Which posting someone's personal information online is 100% illegal and definitely could lead to serious trouble, by the way. But Buddy didn't care. Buddy tells the fan that he lives for trouble. The fan needs to calm down and that the fan is just a kid. Telling him that Gavin is gone and that his only friend is gone and that this is all the fan's fault. Gavin just deleted his TikTok account and left. But Buddy thinks he deleted his TikTok account and unalived himself. Or at least, this is how me, the fan, and Wario interpreted this. The fan then tried to explain to Buddy that Gavin just deleted his TikTok account and wanted to know if Gavin actually unalived himself. No joke. All Buddy said when the fan asked if Gavin was really unalived was, "That's none of your business." So yeah, Buddy is lying. And we can even prove this, by the way, because Gavin tried to make even more alternate accounts to make content again. So yeah, he's obviously alive. This is literally a lie. I don't know if Gavin is just telling Buddy to say this or if it was Buddy saying this. Either way, trying to tell someone this is just seriously messed up. I mean, just telling someone that Gavin unalived himself, or just to be completely honest with you, telling anyone that someone unalived himself is just seriously messed up. Buddy then continues to say that this is all the fans' fault. He is gone, and he screwed both of them. Buddy then stops messaging the fan for a while. After seeing their whole interaction, we did inform the fan to just leave it alone, and we properly explained to them the real situation of the whole Gavin thing. We thought since now that he got roped into it, he at least deserved to know the whole Gavin situation and the small interaction that me and Wario had with Buddy. But we did tell him just leave him alone. Don't bother him again. Much later, the fan ended up not heeding our warnings and got concerned for Buddy and sent him a message. Now, me and Wario did not know he did this, but they ended up having another long conversation. The fan basically told him he was concerned for him and thought that he was not well and needed to get some help. We, unfortunately, forgot to mention to the fan that Buddy has autism. That is our fault. Should have told him that. Buddy then goes on to tell the fan that he doesn't control him and that his life was and / is messed up. I won't go into too much detail about all of this, and I'm just going to let you all read the screenshots of this. The only comment I am going to make about this is that if this all is true, I do actually feel bad for him. Truly, I do. But it just showed he didn't get the proper special aids for people with his disability and that his life was hard. But once again, you still can't do this to anyone. His disability still is no excuse for his actions. I am sorry if there are some people that may not agree with me with that, but my older brother with autism, who has it much worse than Buddy's, can literally do none of the things Buddy has done. Absolutely none of it. And my brother knows the difference between right and wrong, so this is no excuse whatsoever for him. The fan told Buddy pretty much on the same lines of what I said, then Buddy shortly blocked the fan after that. Now, you're probably thinking, so that's it. Finally over. No more, right? There's still more. There's still so much more. So, remember how I earlier said in the video that I had sent a friend request to Buddy on Discord after I first tried to message him on TikTok because I didn't think he would respond to me on TikTok? Well, here's the thing. I had completely forgotten about it. See, when all this was going down, I was working third shift at my job when all this went down. I woke up around 4 in the afternoon and saw that I had a very long message from Buddy on Discord. He first said that he would no longer be threatening me and that he was just trying to protect Gavin from being bullied by Wario, saying Gavin is enough pain already and that he is not the bad guy, saying that we can hate Gavin all we want. Me and Wario are. Yeah, we're the bad guys. We're the ones that totally sent all those threats, all those physical harming threats and dox people. We are totally the bad guys, man. Hey, spoiler alert. We ain't the bad guys here. You two are. Especially Gavin for not telling Buddy that what he has been doing was wrong and needed to stop. Both of you knew this crap was wrong. I know for a fact you both knew this crap was wrong. Did you all stop? Did any of you stop to think, hey, this needs to stop. You know, what you're saying to them is wrong. You know, threatening them is wrong. Doxing Wario is wrong. We need to stop. It's wrong. Did any of you do that? I don't think so. So here you can see that Buddy then dared me and Wario to track down his location for some reason and told me how many crimes Wario has made towards Gavin. I mean, the last time I checked, Wario has not broken any laws or committed any crimes, so we have zero idea what you're talking about. Gavin more than likely filled Buddy's head with lies again and probably made him think that Wario committed these crimes. Let me be honest with you here, folks. The only thing this man has committed, Wario has committed, is he has scammed me a lot out of buying pizza for him. That's probably about the closest thing to a crime Wario has ever done, is scamming me money out of buying him a pizza. Other than that, Wario has done absolutely nothing. He has not broken a single law or done anything that can be considered a crime against Gavin. Like, at all. If anything, he has done a crime against stealing money from me to buy himself a pizza. Which, by the way, Wario, I want my money back, man. Or at least share some of the pizza next time, man. I go on to tell Buddy that neither me nor Wario has threatened Gavin in any shape or form. We have never said we wanted Gavin to cause any harm to himself or anything about unaliving himself. Nor have we ever made any of those threats to him directly. That I only messaged him first to tell him that threatening people was wrong and illegal. Wario has only ever said to Gavin to get off the internet. That's it. Telling someone to get off the internet in no way or form is threatening them at all. I also told him that neither me nor Wario want to track his location or know about it, by the way, or anything personal about him. I told him repeatedly this entire time that I do not want his personal information. I don't want to know about it. Was speaking really for both of us whenever I said we don't want his personal information or know anything about him. Now, all of this, what I just said, is going to come heavily into play in just a second, folks. Because this is where it's going to start getting very, very weird. I then send Buddy a screenshot of one of Gavin's alternate accounts admitting that he did indeed groom a 15-year-old. He tried to play it off as someone else on this account, someone named Firestorm the Dragon. And that Firestorm was the one that told Gavin to do all these things he has done, or he was going to unalive Gavin. Now, we know for a fact that this count is 100% Gavin, because if you look at these videos, which I'm sure you can't right now because he has currently deactivated this count after we caught him reactivating it and trying to make it content again, you can tell this is Gavin because, one, the room. If any of you ever watch Super Mario Legend's videos, the room that this man is in is the same room that he made videos as cosplaying as Mario. So we know for a fact, Firestorm the Dragon is 100% Gavin. So not only did Gavin try to play this off as another person, but he openly admitted he did these things. I mean, what more proof did you need? It's literally all right here. He admitted. Now, Wario called him out on this too, by the way. But if you want to know more about that, I would suggest all of you go watch his second video he made about Super Mario Legends / Gavin. Because this video is not about Gavin. Yes, Gavin has a heavy role in this story, but this is not Gavin's story. This is about Gavin's guardian angel, Buddy, or Fortnite Charizard. Now, after I sent this to Buddy, I asked him, how does he explain this? And he told me this was really simple. That it's all wrong and false. And that the first video made by Wario was also all wrong and false. And apparently hilarious. I really don't see how any of what Gavin has done is hilarious. But alright. I tried to get him to explain how the screenshot was wrong and how everything else was wrong. And he pretty much just kind of ignored me and went on a whole rant of what we are doing is wrong and that we will never get rid of Buddy because he will also be keeping an eye on us and that he wants us. He wants us to call the cops on him. Remember how I mentioned that we don't want his personal information at all? We didn't want it and we didn't ask for it. Yet this is where it all comes into place. Because for some godforsaken reason, Buddy sent us everything willingly. Willingly, by the way. He sent us his Facebook profile. He sent us his mother's Facebook profile. He sent us his sister's Facebook profile. He sent us his aunt's Facebook profile. He sends us his personal phone number and his actual house address with his county and his state. All of it. He sent this all to me. Why? I have no fucking idea. We didn't want it. We didn't ask for it. He literally sent it to us willingly, unprovoked, and without being asked. If I was this man's father, I would have been so furious at him for sending this to someone with all of his personal family's information on it. Now, I'm going to speak more about his father later. Buddy then goes on to say that Wario can now track his location and that he is done with both of us. He tells me that Wario to go post all of his personal information online because if Wario posts all of his personal information online, Buddy then get Wario in trouble for doxing him. Guess what, folks? We didn't do that, nor were we ever going to do that. Why? Because we didn't even want this information in the first place. Buddy goes on to say that he wants to see how far we would go to ruin his life, saying that we won't quit bothering him or Gavin. I tried telling Buddy that we didn't want his info and we never wanted to know his personal information, which I had already stated many times and said many times. Now, admittedly, I ended up arguing with him about this. I know I shouldn't have, but I was at work and I just wanted him to leave me the hell alone. I sent him this last message that he was acting like a man-child. I also shouldn't have said this, but again, he was starting to annoy me, and it was starting to frustrate me that he wouldn't leave me alone while I was at work. My phone was constantly going off because he was constantly sending me messages, and I just wanted him to leave me alone. I'm at work, man. I'm trying to do my job and get paid. And I shouldn't have argued with him. That's my fault. So I told him, if he wants to keep sending me messages, to just go ahead. Because I wasn't arguing with him anymore. And that he needs help. And that I was done. And he does need help. Because, as I stated earlier, he's clearly not getting the special help he needs for his disability from anyone. In my personal and honest opinion. So, Buddy then sends me more messages. I saw them, but I did not respond to them. He then called Wario a man-child, and that Wario was insane, and that he was perfectly sane. Wanting me to tell Wario to go track him down and to put his info on the internet so he can get Wario in trouble with the law. Basically wanting Wario to dox him, which we did not do. He, for some reason, sends a lot of weird pictures that made no sense. I'm assuming he tried to send these pictures to get me to respond to him, which I did not. I told him I was done, and I was done. I just ignored them. At that time, I went ahead and put his Discord on mute, so I was still getting messages from him, but my phone was no longer going off, and that made me satisfied. But he was literally still sending me messages. And again, this was all happening on my third shift week at work. This was like super early in the morning. Like, he started this at 4 in the afternoon and quite literally kept going through all of this in the morning. So that just tells you he wasn't leaving me alone. So after a while, he finally stopped messaging me, and then I went ahead and finished my workday. After that, me and Wario sat down over the phone and had a talk. We talked about everything that he had just sent me and that what we were going to do. Because we were 100% not going to post his information online. And as you can clearly see in the video, I didn't show any of his personal information online either because I'm not doing that. What we decided is that we wanted to inform Buddy's mother of the things he has been doing on the internet. Because what he is doing is wrong, illegal, and just downright harassment at this point because he wouldn't leave us alone. We wanted to try to settle all of this, civilly with his family and to try to let him know the things he's been doing. So Wario messaged the mother and I messaged the sister. The sister was an adult, just so everyone knows. Now, if any of you know how Facebook works, if you're not friends with someone on Facebook, and you send them a message, it becomes a message request on Messenger. And the only way a person can see that message is whenever you open Messenger, it pops up on your Messenger saying that you have a message request. It doesn't show the message, but it says you have a message request. Now, to see the message, you would have to click the message request. You would then see who the person was that sent the message to you. You'd click their name, and then you could read the message that they sent you. And in order for you to respond back, you would accept the message request. It would say that it has been seen on our end, and then they can message back. I am showing you right now what I sent the sister. This is more or less on the same lines of what Wario sent the mother. Now, as you can clearly see, mine says delivered. Wario's also said delivered. We waited around 4 days for one of them to at least see the message. We didn't care if they didn't respond, but to at least see the message, because then they would be able to tell that what we sent them, they would at least know or have an idea, hey, Buddy's been doing something online. Let's go look at his phone. So Wario tried to update the mother one message for the next 4 days, trying to at least get her to see the message. On the third day, Wario had sent the mother saying, hey, I'm sorry, but this is going to be my last time trying to reach out to you. You know, we wanted to settle this civilly, but your son has just not left us alone. He is still harassing us. And at this point, unfortunately, we may have to get the police involved. I want to be completely honest with you people. Me and Wario 100% did not want to contact the police of his state and county at all. But at some point, you get tired. I mean, enough's enough. And Buddy just was not leaving us alone. He kept messaging me. He kept messaging Wario. He was not leaving us alone. He quite literally did not give us any choice. So that's what we did. We called the police on him. More specifically, Wario called the police on him. Because during this time, I was still at work. I didn't really have time to make the phone call. Wario was not working. So he called them. And a police officer picked up. Wario had to briefly tell the police officer about the whole Gavin situation. And he then explained the whole situation about Buddy. He sent the officer all the screenshots both me, him, and the concerned fan had with Buddy. He sent all of this to the police officer. Here's the crazy part. The police officer had the phone number and the address on file already. Which means that they must have had some sort of issue with Buddy before. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but they already had Buddy's personal information on file. Now, when Wario told the police we didn't know his name, but we thought it was Buddy, the police said, we have nothing on file with a man named Buddy, but the phone number and the address 100% is on our file. So you know what that means? That means Buddy's real name is not Buddy. What's crazy is the police officer even told Wario, he said these exact words. That man doesn't need to have a phone. That man doesn't need to have a phone. I couldn't agree more, officer. You are absolutely right. This man absolutely doesn't need a phone. So what happens is the officer ends up going to the address. He knocks on the door, and the father answers the door. Now, the police officer talks to the father, saying that they got a call saying that Buddy wanted to unalive himself. Now, this is the reason for the call, because Buddy talked about unaliving himself and causing self-harm, which prompted a welfare check. Because if you ever present a police officer evidence showing that someone has the intent of unaliving themselves or physical harm, they have to legally do a welfare check on the home and on the person. So the officer told the father everything that was going on, showed them the screenshots of everything Buddy has said to us and done to us. So the father wakes up Buddy, demands him to come to the front door, demands for his phone. The father looks through his phone and looks at the screenshots the officer showed him. He then apologizes to the officer, saying that Buddy has the mind of a 3 to 5-year-old. He then says that he's going to be monitoring Buddy a lot more closely and that he will make sure this does not happen again, and that he apologized to the officer about his son's behavior. So that was the end of the conversation. Officer ends up calling Wario back and telling everything that happened that I just told you. And with that, we finally come to the end of the story of Gavin's guardian angel. Because after the police visit, Buddy unfriended me on Discord and has yet to message me or Wario since, and hopefully forever. Now, we did find out from a friend of ours that Buddy did post 2 videos on his TikTok making more lies of things that we never did, saying that we hacked his Facebook. No, we didn't. You willingly gave us your personal Facebook and your family's personal Facebook. So how in the world did we hack your Facebook? We did not. He then says we called the cops on him. We absolutely did. You gave us no choice. You were threatening us, harassing us, and wanting to cause physical harm to us. So you kind of gave us no choice. And unfortunately, your family wouldn't respond to the messages. Now, I have no idea if they were busy, they didn't see it. We don't know. But we tried to handle it civilly. But as long as he leaves us alone, he does not bother us. We both agreed we don't care what he posts at all. I personally don't care what he posts. As long as he is physically not messaging me, not physically bothering me, not threatening me, not trying to dox me, not doing anything to me, I do not care. And Wario feels the same way. We just don't care. So now, I want to say a few things before I finish this video. As I mentioned earlier in this video, my older brother has autism. Low functioning autism. My brother cannot do any of the things Buddy did. He cannot text anywhere near like Buddy did. In fact, he can't text at all. You want to know why? Because he doesn't have a smartphone like everyone else in the world does. He does have a phone, yes. But it's one of those old phones, you know, those old phones where you had to press the number repeatedly to put the correct letter in. It has no access to the internet. And he has both my mother's and my father's phone number in there. And we taught him to recognize the numbers and who they belong to, which is my mother and my father. But he cannot text at all like Buddy did. He cannot spell the words Buddy has said to us, let alone even say some of them. He cannot dox people the way Buddy did. He doesn't even know how the internet works anywhere near the way Buddy does. He sometimes needs help from my father, my mother, and sometimes me if I'm over at their house to search for a Disney video on YouTube because he doesn't know how to spell it. Now, he knows what he's looking for. He knows what kind of video he's looking for, but he don't know how to spell it. Again, not because he doesn't want to, but because he physically cannot learn how to, because it is too complex for him, because he actually has the mind of a 3 to 5-year-old. Now, let me ask you people this. After everything I just showed you, after everything I just talked about to you, do you think that what Buddy's father said is true? Or do you think it was a lie to save his own son's butt? Because all the proof I just showed you, everything I just talked about and showed you, I absolutely refuse to believe that Buddy has the mind of a 3 to 5-year-old. I also absolutely refuse to believe that Buddy has low functioning autism. After everything Buddy has done, I strongly believe that Buddy has the mind of a 14 to 17-year-old mind and has high functioning autism. And I should know because I grew up with my older brother. I learned more about autism growing up from my mother, from the school system, and by the state. And along with other disabilities as well that I should know. I also believe that his parents are 100% not monitoring him as well as they should be on the internet before all this happened, by the way. Who knows what this man has said or done on the internet without their knowledge? And to be completely honest with you, if I was a parent, I would be highly disappointed in him, because I would have taught him growing up the difference between right and wrong, and to absolutely never share our personal family's information online for any reason. For any reason. I can't be disappointed in my own brother. You want to know why? Because my parents, and me too, also, helped teach my brother never to do any of that on the internet. Never to trust strangers. Never to talk to strangers. Never to give strangers any personal information about us, about himself, to anyone. Buddy clearly needs help for his autism and clearly doesn't need to have a phone that can get on the internet. He really does not need to be on the internet, period. Unless his parents or an adult is heavily monitoring what he is doing. That's the only reason right there. That is the only way I believe Buddy should be on the internet, is as long as an adult or his parents is monitoring what he is doing on the internet. If no one is doing that, he absolutely does not need the internet. Autism or not, disability or not, his actions cannot excuse what he has done, period. What he did was wrong, and none of this would have happened if Gavin was not involved. And I guarantee you, Gavin encouraged this type of behavior from Buddy and did nothing to stop and make him realize it was wrong. And it's just sickening. Absolutely sickening. Because I'm telling you, I believe Gavin and Buddy had communications with each other while all this was going on. And the fact that Gavin did not tell him to stop. Don't threaten people. Don't dox people. Don't do any of this to people. Sickening. Absolutely sickening. Now, Gavin, I'm going to tell you what Wario's been telling you for a while. And, Buddy, this now goes for you, too. Both of you, get off the internet. Neither one of you need to be on it, because neither one of you know how to act on it. I hope, to the great Koopa King, I never have to make a video like this again. Because I didn't like making this video. I did not. At all. I never thought I'd have to make a video like this. And I did not like it. The only reason I made this video is to make other people know about what Gavin and Fortnite Charizard / Buddy did. Because if Buddy can dox Wario this easily, then he can more than likely dox whoever he wants if you make him mad enough. And that is dangerous. I don't want anyone to have the potential to be doxxed by this man, or even threatened by this man whatsoever. I'm sorry if my voice might have gotten a little too high or a little too aggressive. It's just this whole situation just really upsets me, because this all happened because of Gavin. If Gavin would have never done this, me and Wario and the concerned fan would have never had to put up with any of this. Would have never had to deal with Buddy at all. And it's all really pathetic and stupid, man. I'm so done with all this. And to be honest, I hope I never have to make a video like this again. As long as Buddy leaves me and Wario alone and doesn't try to contact us. And hopefully as long as Gavin goes away and doesn't get on the internet anymore, hopefully neither me nor Wario will ever have to make a video like this again. I thank you all for your time. I thank you all for listening to me and hearing me out. I wish you all a good day, and be safe, please. Oh, and just one more thing. Christian, I know you're probably watching this. I wouldn't be surprised if Gavin is watching this. But this is towards you. If you ever contact me, or Wario again, and ever throw any more threats at me or Wario again, I promise you, we will call the police again and have them come visit you again. Because this has to stop. This has to stop. There is no more reason to keep going on from this or anything. It just needs to stop. We don't want to do that. Truly, we don't. But if you're going to end up contacting us again and trying to threaten us again, then you're not going to leave us any other choice again.